Hello. Well, I'm on the floor because it's all about the floor still. And that's because who was going to come first? The electrician, the joiner, the floor people. I mean, jostle, jostle, jostle. Obviously, the floor people because the place was empty. But I had to let them work that out, of course. Anyway, the floor, it's in. Here it is. Hello. So, while I've been fanning on with the upholstery, people have been to visit, see what's happening. Floor people, joiners, you name it. Lovely people that fully furnished have been, and going to vinyl the whole thing. I've decided now, but that means the floor has to be prepped. So there's wood. Plyboard in multi-layered upstairs and down. It creaks a bit upstairs, so there has been some mention that perhaps it needs to be unscrewed, the floor, and re-glued and screwed back down. So I'm just waiting for the floor person to come and make that call. It's not something I can do, I don't think, because I don't have the right tools. But what I can do is downstairs here, there's a hole where that thing came out a few weeks ago, which was the heating vent. So I'm going to build a false floor there, and because the cupboard's going to be on that, obviously because we need to stop ingress, not just from water, but from vermin, which there'll probably be, as we're on a farm. Of course there will be. There's rats everywhere. So that will be done. That's the next thing. And then this floor here, this wood, whatever this is, plyboard here, is going to get a water, membrane on it, a damp-proof membrane to help, because there's been some ingress in that corner over there where they fixed the door. I think I mentioned before when they did have a door there, the London bus, but whoever patched it up left a hole. So water's coming. So that's going to be done next. I think the floor's going to be done, which is kind of crazy. The joiner has said that he doesn't mind building the cabinets and everything on top of the vinyl, which is fine too. Just means that if I want to replace the vinyl later on, it just has to be cut out and stuck on the top. But at this point, I just want to get on with things. I'm now at a place where I can't do most of the jobs because they're kind of more specialist things, and I'm a bit too Heath Robinson, I think, and I need other people to do them. So I'm cracking the whip. The eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed that before, when I was explaining where things are going to go, I never mentioned a bathroom. That's because the bathroom's not going to be inside the bus. The shower, anyway. There will be a compost toilet inside, but outside will be where the shower and everything is, in a block just off, because we're not touring, we're not going anywhere, we're just living right here. So I've got another portable unit which I'm going to build a bathroom in. That's the plan at the moment. I may scrap this, I don't know. We'll see. But at the moment, that's the plan. We have 2 units, which is a bit crazy, isn't it? But I've also got to bring loads of storage. I've got to create, rather, loads of storage, because downsizing from a house to a bus for most of my life. So I need to put the rest of it in a movable trailer until I decide where I'm going to go in my life, and then I'll drag the whole lot there and put it all away in a cupboard, I suppose. But in the meantime, it's going in a container. And I'm going to follow that kind of theory that if you don't use anything in a year or 6 months or something, you probably didn't need it. Right? I also think that you spend the first half of your life collecting stuff and the second half getting rid of it all again. So I'm in the second half. After all, I'm middle-aged. If you live till 180 or however old I am now. So the floor is about to go in, but I just thought I'd do a quick video update on the electrics before that all happens, because electrician has been, and essentially the bus is going to plug in. That's the idea. We're going to use very little electricity at the beginning because just while I'm building my power source, I need to get solar and wind and all of that sort of thing, but expense, and also just trying to find the right things. But in the meantime, probably going to have a little battery power bank, forklift truck, batteries, things are looking at, and just power it up with the generator at first, because I need to pump the water and all that kind of thing, and run some electricity in the bus, obviously. So this is where all the wires come in. This is downstairs in the back seats. I don't know if you can tell where I am at the moment. And then the wires run up into the lighting things along here and on that side, and then in the back of here they run upstairs into the back seat. and then do the same thing up there. And there's sort of loops left around the place. So because in the kitchen area down here, there's the kitchen sort of going to be here. You can see this wire. This is left as a long loop because there will be power sockets here eventually. That will be the idea, I guess. And then up here was for the lighting, what's that thing called? Not the conductor, the inverter, the transformer. Transformers. Oh, look at this 80s curtain hair. Yikes. I'm going all retro on you. Also, I have done some painting. I've walloped all this blue over that's going to be visible. So just to see what would go, and this is with a multi-surface paint made by B-Deck, and it just sort of clings to it. It's brilliant. But I can't decide what colour to go with yet, so that's another dilemma. But electrics first. I'm excited. Well, chipping that vinyl off was a wrangle, but I'm really, really glad we did it. But it did leave quite an uneven surface. And because I'm putting vinyl down throughout the bus, I needed to have the whole thing plied. So there's 4mm down on here now, which I did not do. Anthony, the lovely joiner, did. Because he's much more skillful and he has all the tools for such a thing, which I do not. And downstairs, as you can see, the same thing happened on the middle section. I haven't done it, I don't think you can see through to the back there where the blue plastic is. Obviously I haven't done it over that because the vinyl will stick to that anyway. And it's a relatively smooth surface already. But I've done this, and this has a blue membrane under it, the downstairs, which is a damp-proof membrane. And it's all glued down and ready to rumble. Excited. So now I'm just waiting for the joiners to do these. Where are we there? These, which, oh, the silver bit, not the blue bit. Oh, where? Ooh, oof. It's like trying to do your hair backwards in the mirror. Those bits, they're going to be panelled as well. And then the wall along here behind me, these I'm going to panel actually, because even though I could paint them, I just don't like them. That's the only reason I'm doing it. I don't think you really need it. You could just paint it. But I'm just going to panel them. And the added benefit of that is that the electrician is going to, there'll be a tiny gap behind. So the electrician is going to run all the wires down the sides of the bus to feed all the sockets and all the necessary things up and down stairs. So the paneling is going in next. Or the wires, or the floor. I don't know. This is the thing then, juggling all these things. If only I could do everything myself. Cold enough for you. So the electrician is coming today, and so I've gone through the bus and marked in various places all around where sitting area, where fridge freezer things may go, other appliances, upstairs lights, you know, who knows? I don't know because I haven't really planned. I've gone through and made a list of all things we actually do plug in, but I'm trying to obviously reduce that amount because I don't want to use that much power. And but I think you can't also have too many PowerPoints, frankly. So he's going to come and do all that. It may change when he gets here because it might go, no, can't do that. And the other thing is that the bus, essentially, the plan is going to plug in to a battery bank, which will be kept topped up by wind, solar, generator, whatever, yeah, as the years go on, because I don't know. So I'm just trying to future-proof a bit, really. But essentially, I think the bus is going to plug in entirely. And we're not using the system that the bus has, the diesel engine or anything, because it's not practical. So, although it will be able to top things up if we drive it, but I'm not going to drive it very far to the end of the land and back. So that's the plan there. He's coming in a minute. We'll see what's going to happen, and hopefully it'll get done. Lots of it today, and look at this patch of gold. So I've been testing this blue plastic fiberglass thing. Is actually really hard to cover and find a colour. There is this colour. This is made by B-Deck, and it's a multi-surface paint, and it goes over sort of primer, undercoat, and paint colour all in one. But it's struggling even, that's only one coat there, but it's struggling really to cover it. This is spray paint, gold, amazing. The silver is a bit patchy, but the gold looks fabulous, but it's a bit OTT. Here's some I did earlier. So this is it when it's had the full coating, and actually takes a month to set fully. I mean, it's touched and it's fine, but to be fully toughened and hardened and bonded to the plastic, a month. what? But that's not too bad, actually. I don't mind that. That has covered the blue. But the trouble is it looks very blue in this light, because partly because it's winter and it's cold and, you know, that's the kind of light there is. But it's also the fact that there's blue everywhere. It's just blue everywhere. Look, everywhere surrounding blue, blue, blue. So I'm going to cover all that blue with one coat of this at least, just to tone it down and see what happens. That's a design thing. It's nothing to do with the bus build. So back to the build, the electrician. Here we go. There was a lot of wrangle about who was going to start first. The floorman, the electrician, the joiner, they were all like, oh, it's fine, don't worry. But in the end, it's clearly obvious that the floor needs to go in. As it's a vinyl floor, it's so clear up here. If he starts building wardrobes and all the units in here, then it's going to be fiddlier. So this is just a nice flat, plain, ready to go. And then I'll just tape over it with some dust sheets and plastic to protect it. But it's vinyl, so it should be fairly hard wearing. But you can see the electrics come up in that far corner. You probably can't see because it's too far, but you can see all these loops of wire. Well, I can't do pointing, it's the opposite way. There we are. All these loops of wire are left here for the plug sockets and the lighting too. So that's the electrics for you. Thrilling, isn't it? As I say, I've just sort of walloped over with this stuff over this fiberglass plastic, and there are a couple of different surface paints. We've used one that I got at B&Q, I can't remember. I'll try and put a link to it, which actually has been brilliant as well. It covered the ceilings really, really well. But this is the B-Deck one, the multi-surface, as I say. But the other thing really is about, often I think about the way when we started this, we started it really in the coldest, we had that cold snap, and it's been difficult. The paint really doesn't stick that well in the cold weather, so you can see it's sort of a bit vague here and it's sort of dripped and all that sort of thing. Obviously I'll just go around and tidy all that up, but it just means I think if I were doing this again, I would start it, it's like in the spring, basically. Plus it's freezing to work in here, but I have to do it because I need it done for the spring. I can't be waiting. So this is just my height. If I've got a kitten mule on, then I'm going to bang my head constantly. So note to self, no kitten mules upstairs. So the vinyl people have just finished vinylizing the bus, both floors. It's quite exciting. It's odd really, because even though the floor's gone in, it's just the timing because of the joiner and everything else, being able to build frameworks on top of it. But it's amazing to have it in. I have a kind of vague feeling of how it's going to look. Here we go. At the front of the bus here, there'll be new doors at some point. So this area at the beginning will actually be some sort of matting rather than the vinyl, but I've left it there for now. The trickiest part really was always going to be this skirting board bit here, because it bends round, it can't match the pattern. But I think they've done a really good job anyway. Looks like it was meant to be. And the tracks where the seats were, it's using that as a lip to put the vinyl up against, and then this piece here will be, oh I can't point, yes, this piece here will be panelled, so it's hard to tell at the moment, especially downstairs, because there'll be a cabinet on the left there, and then on the right, I'm not sure what to do with that. I've got some more vinyl to put up the side of that if necessary. I just wanted the pattern to sort of go up the middle really. I think it'll draw the eye otherwise, won't it? I'm in my own light, it's getting dark here, so can't really see. Yeah, very happy with that. And obviously the seating will be on top of that ghastly blue plastic. My beautiful fabric seating that I'm doing, upholstering myself. Hurrah! The same upstairs that the track that the seats were attached to is just a great way to just waft the vinyl up the side to give it this sort of complete look on the floor. Again, that pale blue-grey bit there will be panelled and painted, so it won't look quite so horrific. It looks good. And then this bit here the stairs will be carpeted, but then there'll be some sort of railing business here, so maybe just this sharp edge. Maybe it'll just fall off the end. And then that, oh my God. That will be a cupboard. Can you see a cupboard? Can you visualize a cupboard?